Right, how we doing now? Just before we get into the question, we can see here that the mirror got 44% of the votes there, so I'll be doing the mirror today. Which is strange because it's basically done for you already, but I'll do it anyway. I'll do what you wanted. So yeah, we have a question here. I'm going to start off by doing the frame. Okay. I haven't done this in a while, so hopefully that'll work out. And then I'm going to move on to my ellipse here. Alright, now you can start. I might actually start with the ellipse instead. Yeah, I'll start with the ellipse instead, actually. And I'll do it from the top up here, and I'll do it down. That way I'll have a bit of room to do this mysterious R down here. Okay. Before I start into that, just about the live lesson next week. Yeah, I'm going to be doing it on the travel method. Now, just from the survey that I gave out, the majority, there was no majority. Okay, it was a split decision between recorded lesson assignments, a split three-way between recorded lesson assignments and live lesson. Now, that means I'm just going to split it weekly. Okay, I'll try to do a recorded lesson for you. Some days I might just check in for 15 minutes and answer any questions face to face. But I'll give you a bit of notice for that. What I'm going to do now as well is I'm going to give you the week's work on a particular day. So we'll say Tuesday. I'll give you the week's work on a Tuesday. Okay. I'll be available for questions on our Wednesday class. Okay. But I won't be giving you any assignment on a Wednesday. I'll give you your week's work on the Tuesday. Now, I don't want you to, you can if you want, I don't want you to get bogged down on a Tuesday and do all the work on a Tuesday, alright? You can if you want, however, that's just going to create a bit of backlog in your work and you're going to be fried on a Tuesday, okay? I do a bit of work, I'll give you 2 or 3 questions, okay? Do 2 on the Tuesday and the last one on the Wednesday. This week I gave you 2 questions, do 1 today and then 1 tomorrow, okay? Split it up. Take your time. You don't want to overdo it and fry yourself out. Alright? Anyway, I'll bust on with this question. Let's make this a bit bigger. Yeah, because you don't need all that over there. I'm making it a bit bigger like that. Perfect. Okay. So, here's my page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top of my ellipse over here. I'm going to work my way down. Okay? So I can see my ellipse there is 130. Okay? So I'm just going to go down anywhere here. I'm going to draw a dot there, and that's where I'm going to draw my my major axis. Okay, so 130. Half of 130 is 65. All right. And then my minor axis is 80. So half of 80 is 40. I'll put that there. Boom, boom. Okay, so we have our major and our minor axis here. Done. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my 2 circles. Okay, my concentric circles. Because this is the concentric circles method. I'll do the light line first. Well, it'll always be in a light line because we're not drawing this. Now let me see if my light can fix this a bit. Make sure you can see it. So no light. I'll leave the light on, it's probably easier. Right. Okay, so I'm doing a vertical ellipse. Okay, so that means it's going to be going like that. Now, how do I figure that out? Because it's going to be a bit awkward. Alright, I'll split it up. We're always going to split it up the exact same way. Alright, so I'll split it up using my 60-30 degrees set square. And doesn't matter if it's a horizontal or a vertical ellipse, or even an angle ellipse. You're always going to have to split it up 60-30 degrees. Okay? That's if you're using a concentric circles method. The travel method, which we'll be doing next week, is a different thing. So make sure you tune into that channel. I'll try and record it. but there's some issues with GDPR and all that recording. I'll see if I can. Okay, I need to ask people about it. Anyway, we've split up a circle. Okay, now I'm just going to mark my ellipse. Okay, it's going to be going up there. It's going to be going down to here, and over to here. Okay, so 4 marks. Alright, 4 marks. And we're going to do just the start of our drawing. Alright, I know it's going to be drawn like that. Alright, so this should help us when we're doing our vertical and horizontal lines. Alright, so if I was to say, I'm going to just draw an example over here. Alright, I have 2 circles. I'm going to split up make up the makings of an ellipse over here. So I'm drawing a vertical ellipse here as well. Okay, all like that. Now, if I want this is split up as well, let's get this really quick now as well. If I was to split this up, now I have to figure out which way my my vertical and my horizontal lines are going from my concentric circles. Okay, as you remember, we have to go down or horizontal, and this is basically how we figure out. So I know that my drawing is going to be going over to that point. Okay, so I'm going to test it over here. I'm going to say, right, are we doing a vertical line here and a horizontal one here? And there'd be a point there. Okay, let's see, does it work over here? I was actually supposed to draw them in there, so I know my ellipse. So if we follow those points, that ellipse is going over, them points are going over there. Okay, so that would suit it if your ellipse is going like that, but it wouldn't suit our one because we're doing a vertical one. So switch it around. Okay, we're going horizontal with this line, vertical with this line, have a point there. Horizontal with this line, vertical with this line, have a point there. Yes, that's going to work out a bit better. Okay. So that's basically why we're doing that. And if you want to practice that over here on the side, that is no problem. You can do that. Okay. But that's just, I find that's the best way to figure out which way our horizontal and vertical lines are going in our concentric circles method. Alright. So let's start that off. First point. There we go. So I'm going to be drawing down here. Ideally, you want to be drawing like that, and you don't want to be dragging the pen. You don't want to be pushing the pencil. You want to be dragging the pencil along like that. Okay, when you're doing a freehand sketch. It's a bit awkward over here, and I have a wall against you. But if you can get up and stand around your page, that would be even better. And I'd advise that, say if you're in the PE hall, when you're doing your exam, you're in the PE hall for your junior cycle. Get up, stand out of your seat, and walk around your table and draw it. Okay, always pull it like that. All right. So there we have our ellipse started. I'm just going to bust ahead and do the bottom bit here. Alright, that one. Yeah, then we're doing these. Now, I'm debating whether to show you this trick here now, okay? We all understand how to do that, but there's a trick to speed up this whole process. What you can do, okay? And I'm hesitant in showing you this, because we haven't done transformation geometry yet. But this is very similar to transformation geometry. If you're not comfortable with learning this trick, don't do it. But if you want to learn this trick, stay looking. So what I want to do is, from the point that I've drawn, I'm going to just draw a line over there. And I'm going to get my compass. And I'm going to put the point of my compass on my line here. And I'm going to put the pencil nib on the point. Now it has to be on the point line. And I'm going to just mark that off there. And there I have a point there. Now that will be the exact, because what you're doing is you're basically folding over. You're folding over. You're folding over that compass. Okay? That, and you're doing like a mirror image of it. So again, I can bring over this point here. But you have to go from the line that the point is on, like that. There's that one. And you can see over your points here. It should be a mirrored image of it. Now look, only do this if you're comfortable doing it. Okay? If you're like, what the hell is Callum doing here? Don't do that then. Just keep doing with your horizontal and vertical lines. The good thing about these videos as well, which I rather over a live lesson, is if you're like, how the hell did you do that? You just pause, go back, and you do it again. Okay, so that's what I rather. But you don't have that face-to-face feedback, or you can't ask me a question or anything. You can write under it, under this video if you want, but we'll get to it anyway. Right, so we have that done. Okay, there is my ellipse mirror. And basically what I'm doing now is I'm doing all of the bottom. Okay, all of that there. So, okay, so you have to really concentrate. You have to really be looking at this drawing to see where the measurements. Now, if you look over here, you're like, geez, I don't have the width of that little gap there between my mirror and my frame. But if we go over the other side, we can see there that the arrows of this 5mm, okay, that's showing the measurements on the inside. Okay, so that's going to be 5mm over 5mm over 5mm over 5mm over. Alright, so always keep an eye on them. I'm going to put two 5mm for the width of the frame and the width of the gap. Just a light line all the way down. It's not going to be that far, but we'll just have there anyway. So I'm going to put a line across here, and then they want a radius of the inside there. Okay. So we can see over here that to find that radius, they give you 10mm here, and that's how you find it. It's 10mm there. Alright. So I'm going to measure in. I'm actually going to. We'll draw this frame so we can visualize it a bit better. So I'm going to put measure over 10mm. I'm also going to measure down 10mm. So then what I'll have is this. A radius is just a part of a circle, okay? And every circle has a center point. And these are my two center points for that radius. Okay, so that's 10mm in, 10mm in, that's 10mm down, 10 mil in, 10 mil down, 10 mil in. And when I get my compass and set to 10 mil, it's going to be drawn over to there. That's my center point for my compass. So there we have the radius there. Now, yeah, 15 mil down, 15, 5 mil, 10 mil. Bring that point over there, and this is the bottom, like that. Measuring 25 mil. There, 25 mil for there. Now, this was a tricky part of this question, so maybe this is why it was so popular to get it drawn out today. Okay, press pause there, Baxton. We have to get, we have to try and find the radius of this here, okay? All we have is this point, and this point. Now we know that all those 3 points are touching that arc somewhere, okay? That arc. We don't have the radius, okay, so therefore we can't find where the center point of that arc is. Now, what we're doing, okay, is we're going to be, somebody may have got this straight away, okay? Others may have just left it, or others may have just guessed it, okay? You'd get marks for guessing it, alright, but say if there was 8 marks going for this arc, there could have been 15 marks going for this arc. If you guessed it, you would have might got 2 marks out of the 15. But to get this one, okay, we have to go back to when we learned about bisecting lines and bisecting chords of circles. So remember, a circle is you can have a couple of chords in a circle, okay? When you bisect those chords, okay, if you bisect 2 of them, where the 2 intersect, that will be your center point. That is a rule. It's like saying 2 plus 2 is always 4. That always happens. When you bisect 2 chords, when they intersect each other, the lines, the bisecting line, that is your center point. Okay, so what we're going to do is this line going from A all the way down, we're going to treat that as a chord, or our bisecting line, sorry, excuse me, that's going to be a bisecting line. So that's going to be one of these lines going down here. Alright, so all we have to do is we're going to find out, we're going to be creating a chord here to here, and we're going to be bisecting that line to create a bisector line going through this bisector line, which in turn will give us our center point. Okay, let me do that in a different colored pen. Right, so chord, draw from there to there. What I want to do then is I want to bisect this line. So again, you should know what bisecting a line is. You should know how to bisect a line. Bisecting a line is ordinary level junior cert. Okay, if you don't know what it is, go back to my videos. Find out how to bisect a line. I have them all done. Alright, there's no excuse for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick a random length, a random radius in my compass. Okay, but it has to be past halfway of this line, roughly. Okay, it has to be at least past halfway. Like, I could do it out here if I wanted, but I'm just going to do it that much. I'm going to draw an arc here and an arc over here, keeping the same radius. I'm going to put on this side of the line. I'm going to draw an arc here where it intersects that arc, and an arc here where it intersects with that arc. Now, when you get that, those two arcs intersecting each other, you should be able to draw a line down there like that. And what that's going to be is that's going to be our bisecting line. Okay, the bisecting line, that's weird. The bisecting line will intersect this other bisected line, and it will come up with a center point. Congratulations to you, got that correct. That's tough, because we haven't done that in a while. If you don't know how to do that, do not worry. Just go back to my other videos, find out where it was. Okay? See how we get on. But yeah, the higher achieving students, those people who are in the A's and the B's, you should have got that. Okay? Finish this off now. I'm going to put my center point of my compass here and my nib of my compass here. Now, just like that. Now, when you're doing this, ideally, in an ideal world, it should always just match up like that. But what I'm going to do is, because even I can make mistakes, is you just want to line up your compass just on each mark. And if you're happy with it, grand. If you're not happy with it, you can just move it a tiny bit. Don't worry about that. If it's like 0.5 millimeter, that's okay. Move your compass, move your pointer nib that you're going to hit all three things. You can see my one hits it there like that. And that is that question completed. Okay. Yeah. Difficult things about that question. My vertical ellipse. Doing all these lines can be a bit awkward. Second difficult thing, mirroring. Finding these points over here through mirroring my points from over here. And the third thing was bisecting our chords to get our center points. Yeah, that's this question. I'll see you next week.